But one thing I realized was that, the goal of parenting is connection, but ultimately influence.
Mm-hmm.
And what I realized was that when we yell, or even when you were yelled at, we have a way of, when somebody yells, I don't know, some of you, when somebody yelled at me, I would like get tears on the side of my eye because it just was traumatizing. It would shake me. And so I found that children do the same thing. The same way we've built mechanisms to go through whatever childhood experience, we all have it. And that's what our children are building. And so you find that whenever what's happening with the yelling and why we have to yell so loud is because the child has now created a coping mechanism of how to handle that trauma or that emotion they get when they are getting yelled at. And so it's more of a coping mechanism, which is a wall. And the more you yell, the higher the wall, the way they lower your voice, and they tune you down. And so then you see that you're having to scream louder, you gotta go harder, because their coping mechanism has now tuned you out. Has completely tuned you out. And when you realize that, wait a minute, okay, you're gonna have to scream a whole bunch, because if you're someone who probably has teenagers, you probably notice that now even when you yell, they don't respond. Just like spanking. Some people, when you've had so many spankings, it got to a point when you got older, it didn't hurt. Your mom could slap you, hit you, you're just sitting there, you become numb to it. And it's all just a coping mechanism that that children have built and have become numb to. So it's a lot of the studies said that it was linked to trauma, as far as spanking and all that. But another thing that also got me was something I think our sister Tina made mention of it, that in the moments where I was told, like when I would start yelling, it was a sense of a loss of control within myself. There was something when I recognize, and when you read, they'll say there's a loss of control within you. There's something in you that's being triggered. It's something in you that is from your past or how you've been taught. It's a trigger. And so it requires us as parents to be able to say, wait, why am I responding the way that I'm responding to this child, to this 2-year-old, to this 6-year-old, to this 8-year-old, to this 15? What is it triggering inside of me? Because just reading and seeing it play out, when we yell, we show our children that we have no self-control. And we are their example. So if they see that we don't have self-control, they don't have self-control. And so if we're not able to regulate ourselves and say, you know what, I'm not about to engage in this right now, or if they notice that you're like, put the toy down, put that down, use that calmness, and they see that, oh wait, mom has control of herself. Mom is not, this is scary because she usually screams and we're used to the screaming. She's not screaming, what's going on? And what we found is that when you yell, you're communicating to your child that I don't have control of myself. And when the child sees that you are not in control of yourself, they cannot trust you. So you find that you don't even get the influence that you actually want, because we all want to be able to influence our children, but they look at us, lose control, and they realize that it is not safe and we cannot be trusted. And then as a result, we lose our influence on the children. And so if our goal is connection and our goal is to have influence over our children, then yelling is something that we have to revisit and say, you know what, I can no longer use this as a tool because it's not effective. Now, does it mean, be stern in your voice when there's something? Yes. You have to be stern. There's a way to be stern. But at the same time, we have to know that there's so many effects. There's too many consequences to saying, I'm just going to scream. And even think about you and how yelling has affected you. We all have this negative self-talk. There's a voice inside of us, as Sam was saying, that it's a negative message that people say to themselves. And so sometimes you'll be screaming and you think it's harmless, but you're screaming, the words you're using is reinforcing a negative message that your child is feeling.
Absolutely.
And so if you're somebody like, you don't do anything right, in the child's head, that message is, I'm dumb, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm stupid. And that's not even how you meant it. You just meant to pick up your stuff from the floor, but they see themselves in a certain way because of the way you said it. And that's the type of influence we have on our children.
That's right.
And so I believe it's important that we understand that there is a negative effect. Many of us are even broken from, many of us have not even aspired to be everything that we really want to be because of these negative voices that people have put in and have reinforced over time. And so I think it's important that we look at this. You know, we're saying it, we're laughing, and I know we're all learning, but we need to know that it's something that we really, really have to take a minute and say, you know what, let me challenge myself.
Let me challenge myself.
Let me deal with the core reason why I'm yelling. It could be that you don't understand why I'm able to handle this when I was young. Why can't you handle this at this age? It could be the littlest of things. And you find that you're unable to communicate to your child and you lose all this trust. And they're just like, Mom, someone's wrong with this one. Something is wrong. So when they have that teacher who's super nice, super gracious, now you have someone to be a coach, be a friend, be a friend's parent who is more gracious. This person has now one influence.
That's right.
Over your child.
That's right.
And so I just want to, add
absolutely,
that
babe.
to this conversation, and let us be aware that we are a mirror. When you yell and you see them yelling at their siblings, they got it from you.
They got it from us.
They didn't get it from anybody else. If you're screaming 10 times and your child doesn't listen, they got that from you.
That's right.
So the thing is, we have to unlearn a lot of things. Our aunts, our grandmothers, our aunties, there's a lot of them who have said things to us that have poked us in ways and have broken us in so many ways. And a lot of us are, have been hurt by that. And so it's important that with the information that we have and the access to the resources that we have, that we give our children a different opportunity, a better opportunity, to really fulfill what God has called them to do in a wholesome way.
That's right.
Not from a place of brokenness, but doing it or a place of survival, but from a place of wholeness.
That's right.
And thriving, which is their God-given right.
That's
so that's just what I wanted to add.
Absolutely. God bless you, babe.
I just wanted to add
God
that
bless you. God bless.